Hi, and welcome to episode 2 of the Wheels on the Bus podcast. My name is Kara.
I'm Patrick.
And we are here to talk about all things education. Whether you're a teacher like me, an administrator, an office person, you homeschool, you're in a university, no matter what level, we are here for you because I have been teaching for 21 years. I am in it deep.
And I am here to represent the husbands and families and everybody else that has to deal with it from the other side, the after-hour side. And I've been at, how long now? 20 years, give or take?
Yeah, ish.
Yes, I did do some substituting in the classroom, so I have a little bit of experience, but mostly just dealing with school.
Mm-hmm. So this is for all of us that are still in it and are trying to survive in it. So last week, the Wheels on the Bus went to the first day of school. And it was really great seeing people's comments online. So don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. But let's review a couple of comments from last week.
So one of the people that seemed to have the same feelings I did about the car rider line, Scott would like to say that, like Patrick, I have a pure hatred for the car rider line as well. I have to crank up the Metallica and remind myself that they don't serve alcohol in prison. I'm not sure that conveys that true hatred any better than that. That is just, that's a person that despises everything about the car rider line.
Yes.
And so we're not alone. We are not alone out there. There are a lot of other people that are suffering along with us. Mm-hmm. And as far as the first day of school goes, we did get one story from Abigail that said, my name is Abby, and I have a story not as a teacher, but as a student. Story time. First day of school, I was in kindergarten. I'm not going to say when because it makes me feel that much older. One kid threw up and created a chain reaction of kids throwing up in class. I threw up as well, and after getting clean clothes from the nurse's office and waiting until the end of the day to get picked up by my mom, she noticed I was in completely different clothes, and then she sent me to school, she sent me to school in. And being the Italian mother that she is, she asked what happened very aggressively. I said I didn't start it. It just smelled very bad, and I threw up.
No, I don't do vomit. Don't.
I have actually had to deal with that in subbing, and that was unpleasant, yes.
All right.
Well, where are we going today?
So every week on the Wheels on the Bus podcast, we go to different places. The Wheels on the Bus go.
So clever.
Week, I know. This week, the Wheels on the Bus go to the classroom. So welcome and enjoy.
All right, so how many different schools have you actually had to set up, like from scratch, a new classroom?
Ooh, I have had to set up 5 different times. Lucky only 5.
And how many times have I had to help you set up brand new classrooms from start?
4? 3?
3. Trust me, it's been 3, I know.
Okay, 3. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's hard setting up a classroom, right?
No, it's not. It's horrible. Why would you say that? At least from my point of view.
I said it's hard.
Oh, it's hard. I thought you said it was great. I'm like, oh.
No, I said it's hard.
Yes.
It's horrible setting up a classroom. So I've only had to do it 5 times. I have a friend who was at the same school for 5 years, I believe it was, and she moved classrooms every single year in a row.
Which at some point you got to figure you made somebody mad. You just there's no way that it can just be randomly that you happen to be the poor sucker that's going to have to move.
Oh, it happens to lots of teachers.
And over and over.
No, it happens. That's why I said, luckily, I've only had to do it 5 times, not consecutively.
Oh, it's Well, having helped you staple and move and file and carry and move and file and staple and label and everything else, I know just helping out for a few days is horrible. But what was the thing that drove you the craziest when you were setting up a new classroom?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to think about this. So probably like almost every year, no matter if you're at the same school or not, like you have new people in charge and they come up with different rules. And so one year you can't staple anything to the wall. So exactly.
What's the point of that?
Exactly. And nothing sticks with tape to the wall. And then the next year, oh yeah, it's fine. You can staple stuff to the wall. Like seriously? You just can't make up your mind. Staple or not staple? Just tell us. It's very frustrating.
Who would have thought staples would have been the backbreaker here?
Certain walls too are more staple ready than other walls. So if you tried
like a
to
cork wall?
Yeah, I guess like if you tried to staple into a certain wall, all your staples just go, they just bend. Like you're like, and nothing sticks. And then on another wall, right next to it, they go in correctly. Like that's very frustrating. Like they make the walls out of different materials.
Well, okay. That makes no sense to me. I don't know why they would do that.
But it does, right?
Especially for kindergarten classes where you've got to hang up 9 million things.
Mm-hmm. So I taught kindergarten for a long time, 18 years. And then I finally got out of the classroom and now I'm a gym teacher and it's way better. But I was there. It sucks.
So no setting up the gym class.
No, we've put up a few things, but it's nothing like a classroom. Like no bulletin boards, no awards and kids' artwork, and no, nothing like that.
So when you're setting up a classroom, if you go in, what is the first thing you notice? Is it the lack of space? Is it the...
You notice all the furniture piled up in the middle of the room as they cleaned it over the summer, and everything is stacked on top of everything else.
I forgot all about that. And unstacking furniture.
Stacking it all. And you're like, even if you take pictures of your room the year before, for some reason it's different the next year. Or like somebody took a piece of your furniture into their room and you don't know where it went. And so you're missing pieces, and then somebody was like, ooh, I don't want this, I'll put it into that room. And then you have random new pieces of furniture.
Wait. We pulled the legs off your tables to make them shorter.
Yes. So kids could sit on the floor, a little better for seating.
Where did those legs end up?
In a cabinet for the next person to find.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute, it's flashbacks of...
By the way, it was great having them sit on the floor, but I digress.
Well, I mean, it's a different thing. I never
They're
sat
not
on the
leaning
floor.
back in their chairs and tripping over things, and you don't have to worry about stacking chairs at the end of the day. It's just you sit on the floor. All my chairs stayed stacked in a corner of the room. Done.
But not up on the cabinets.
No, you don't put anything on the cabinets.
Because that would be useless to use
No, you don't. Yeah.
dead space that has no other purpose.
You have to keep your cabinets, the countertops clear. Like you can put stuff in your cabinets, but the countertops better be very minimal of what's on there. Is that the same for you guys in your school?
I know when I have a counter, the last thing I want to do is put things on it.
Well,
I mean, what do they think it is? A
fire hazard
counter?
So you can't put things above the cabinets. Like you have like the 18 inches of space between the cabinet and the ceiling. And that's apparently a huge fire hazard if you put stuff up there. So you're not allowed to put anything on top of your cabinets either. So if it doesn't fit in your cabinets, if you have cabinets, maybe you don't have cabinets, then what do? You can't put it on top.
Okay, so if you put things up here, the last little bit,
can't.
That'll cause a fire.
Well, if a fire starts to burn,
there's a lesson that you must learn.
Yeah. Then the stuff on top would make a fire and it would bypass the sprinklers, I guess. I don't know.
This sounds really sketchy.
Fire marshal says you can't put anything.
Fire Marshal Bill, is that who's telling you?
Of your cabinets. Right? If it's different for you, let us know in the comments. Maybe you put stuff on top and it's fine.
Okay, as long as we're going down that line, do you have enough cabinets in most of your rooms?
No. Oh gosh, no.
So where do you put all the extra stuff?
Because you have to put the lower grades. You put all the crayons and tissues and glues and scissors and markers, and you put all of that in your cabinets. And then in the rest of the cabinets, you hope that your other things fit, your books and your math manipulatives and all your curriculum boxes. Oh my gosh, boxes and boxes of curriculum.
Math manipulative? Is that
like
the
dice?
dice?
And,
okay, all right.
Yeah, little bear counters.
All the ones that I had to sort and separate. Yes,
Yeah,
I didn't know that's
the
what they
fun
were
stuff.
called.
But like for older grades, like you subbed in a couple of classrooms.
Oh yeah, there's not much.
Yeah.
Books. Usually it's just books.
It's the consumable books that you get at the beginning of the year and you never use because you don't use them, and so you have to store them in your cabinets. And then at the end of the year, you send them home with your children, with the students, and then they bring them home to our house and we go and burn them outside on the bonfire because they weren't used all year, and I don't want them. So
I'm sensing a touch of bitterness here. Okay. I don't recall some of that, but then again,
well, back when we were kids, we would actually use those workbooks. Like that was part of your class. All right, turn to page 57. Do problems 1 through 15. And then you'd tear it out and you'd hand it in. That was your work. Now we get these consumables. Nobody uses them. Nobody wants
That's
them.
because everything's on the laptop. As I sit here with the laptop in front of me, but
yeah. But you get boxes and boxes of curriculum and consumables and books, and you got to put them somewhere before school starts. Yeah.
Yeah, I do vaguely recall not caring about a lot of that stuff because I just was like, "What do you do with this?" And you just kept saying, "Stack it."
Mm-hmm. We'll
just keep stacking it. Okay, so now that we know some of the things you did not like, how long did it take you to set up your room? Because I know that there were some teachers that were there for weeks.
That's why I'm laughing.
Setting their stuff up. And as I recall, we knocked it out in like a day or two.
I'm a doer. Okay. If I get an email that needs a response, I immediately respond. If I have a task ahead of me, I get it done. So when I had to set up my classroom, we got it done in like a day because I shut my door and didn't talk to other teachers and got my stuff taken care of while everybody else is socializing and hanging out in the hallway, and I'm just not that person. Like, I want to get it done so that I'm not there
so you can leave
on the weekend. Yeah, like some of these teachers, y'all, you spend too much time setting up your classroom. You shouldn't be there on the weekend. You shouldn't be there after school hours. Like, shut your door, don't talk to anybody for a day, and get it done. You can do it.
Well, yeah, especially since I wasn't going to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got one day with me, and that was it.
I'm sure the first couple of years that I taught, I'm sure that took me a while because you're brand new. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what to put up and what not to put up. And you go to the teacher store and you buy all this stuff and you're like, crap, I bought too much stuff, and you don't know where it goes.
Well, obviously not on the countertop.
No. So it probably took me a lot longer back then. But I learned very quickly that I want it up and I want it done. And it's done.
Okay, so let's look at another aspect of it. What is the one item that you feel every classroom has to have? Like, what is the one thing that you go, no matter what, if you were setting up a classroom, you would have to have from kindergarten all the way through high school? What would be your item?
A keg.
Not that.
Oh.
Well, maybe. I don't know. College.
I don't know. What do you mean? Like pencils or?
No, do you need something that you're going to have a plant, you're going to have a fridge, you're going to have, a jam box, you can play some music, or what is it?
Yeah, you can do that on your computer. I had fish for the longest time in my classroom, and then I would have to take them home every summer. And so definitely for me, it's not having a classroom pet because you have to take it home. I am a plant person, so I have always put lots of plants in my classroom. So setting up the classroom, I bring all my plants from home, get them set up, little bitty window space that we have. And then you still have to bring your plants home, but it's not like a fish tank or an animal that you have to really take care of.
Didn't I give you the fish tank?
Yes, you did. And it was great. It was great, but it was a big pain in the rear. So I love plants.
Sorry about that.
Yes, and yeah, music you can just play on your computer. That's fine. I don't know. I did have a mini fridge. That was really nice until they told us we couldn't anymore.
That makes no sense. Why would they tell you you couldn't have it?
Because it drained too much energy, the energy bill.
See, that was actually a setup because I've listened to her argument on this, and the year when they told her fridges are out
Getting there.
was a painful adjustment. And the argument of it cost too much is exceedingly stupid.
Yeah.
Because the average mini fridge uses between $2 and $4 of electricity per month. And so if you extrapolate that over an entire school year and take away the 2 months, that's $20 to $40 per teacher per year to keep them happy. Mm-hmm. And to me, that seems that's a reasonable cost.
To be happy, yes.
Just you gotta have your tea or a Coke or a sandwich because you're not going to be able to go use the teacher's lounge where there's 3 microwaves and one of them doesn't work and the other 2 have somebody's frozen dinner cooking for the next 6 minutes.
Yeah, and 1 refrigerator for the entire campus.
Yeah, no, you need that mini fridge, especially if the kids are doing something. You're like, hey, I can get a P3 snack, I can get some yogurt, I can do something. Just.
So here's what happened. So I've been through 2 schools where we tore down the old school and we rebuilt the new school. So I've lived the whole new building thing. So in one of these, the old school, the old campus, let us have mini fridges.
As they should.
They let us have like the college big dorm kind of refrigerators.
3.4 cubic feet. I know the exact one. Yes.
So we move into this brand new school and it's all energy efficient, LED lights, and the AC shuts off at 4:00 in the afternoon to save money. It doesn't run in the summer and blah, blah, blah. So we move into this new school and they go, nope, can't have mini fridges. It costs too much money. Exactly. And we're all like, but I want a soda like in the middle of the day. Nope, you can't have a mini fridge. Just go use the fridge down the hallway. Yeah, when do I have time to go to the fridge down the hallway?
You didn't have time to go to the bathroom.
As we talked about in last week's episode, you don't get a lunch for like the first 6 weeks of school, especially if you're with the younger kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, they wouldn't let us have mini fridges. But, teachers were very effective in doing...
And sneaking in on Saturday and disguising things?
Yeah. So I guess,
I'm
figured
sure
out
you
how
weren't
to camouflage my mini refrigerator and turn it into a magnet letter center. And I put plants on top of it. So it just looked like a little table. And then it had just the magnets that the kids could go and use. And so I still had my cold stuff. Because it made us happy. It makes us happy.
Simple things that it shows that an employee they're appreciated, or simple things that take anything off their plate, just a little bit off their plate is amazing, function.
Yeah.
And so when they did that, I didn't understand because I have to deal with the fallout of that. And then think of all the husbands out there that have to deal with the fallout when their wife comes home, or if the husband's a teacher, when he comes home.
What if both of you are teachers?
Oh, God.
Both of my parents were teachers. It's
a household full of anger.
That's why they got a divorce. They were both teachers.
Because nobody was there to give them a beer when they got home.
No. Speaking of, Floor's Banquet.
Yep.
Love it. That's my drink of the day.
I actually have a new feature. I've got my drink of the week. Seeing as how it's still September and a little warm, I'm going with the Mai Tai.
Good choice. Good choice.
The recipe's up there if you like it. Basically, it's rum with orange juice, pineapple juice, a little bit of grenadine. You can add some extra tweaks to it if you want, but anything to numb the pain, I guess.
That's another thing you have to do when you're setting up your classroom is get your boards ready. your bulletin boards or your whiteboard. Maybe you put your schedule up on it. Maybe you have to post your objectives.
What were you required to post?
Gosh. So I have an example of a whiteboard that might have been used when setting up your classroom and getting ready for daily instruction. At one of my school districts, we had to post the we will, I will statements. So the we will is the overall objective that we're going for. Say we're learning about the American flag. So we will learn about the American flag. And then your I will statement is what the kids will do. So the kids are like, I will paint a picture of the American flag, whatever. So on my board, here's my objectives for today. We will learn the word frustration. And then you as the students, okay, you say, I will use frustration in a sentence. So we, as kindergarten teachers, y'all, in this one school that I was at, we had to post these things for every single subject. Phonics, reading, writing, math, science, social studies.
Recess?
No, I think that's it. So we had to have 6 different statements. Actually 12, because it's we will, I will. Every day. They changed. You don't teach the same thing.
For a group of kids that can't read yet.
Yeah.
So it doesn't do you any good.
And I've heard from other people, when they're setting up their classroom, they have to make sure there's a space on their board to put whatever objectives, whatever you call them. I had a friend that called them the learning intention. What is the learning intention of the day? Okay. It's stupid. Okay. All it is for the administrators. When they walk in your room, do they see it? Hello, look at the lesson plans. My friend in Oklahoma, I asked her, I'm like, I'm doing some research for our podcast. What do your teachers have to do? What do they have to put on their board? And she's like, what do you mean, like decorations? I was like, no, like your objectives. Like, here's what we have to do. What do you have to do? And she's like, we don't have to put anything on their board. That's stupid. Like, yes, it is stupid.
I remember.
But imagine, hang on. So imagine for high school, you only teach geography. Okay, maybe you have an honors class. Fine. Your objective is pretty much the same. You leave it up. For kindergarten, y'all, they can't even read. You're having to change 6 objectives every single day. So you got to make sure there's plenty of space on your board to do that. Go ahead.
We will learn not to wet our pants. I will.
I wish.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay, so I recall when I was in school, the lesson plan, it was a spiral like calendar, and that's what they wrote all their stuff in.
Yeah, that's what I used forever.
That was the lesson plan, and if they needed to know what to do, they would go back to their lesson plan and go, oh, this is, you know, that was it.
So we still have to make lesson plans. Like, that's all about setting up your classroom too, is whether you're typing them or you're still writing them down in a notebook, but you got to turn them in to your administration. You got to get where we're at, your objectives up on the board. So
it sounds like a corporate mission statement, which, as I've told you before, is useless and stupid, and nobody cares. So
nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
And
it's
we even
dumb.
asked our own children. So we have 2 teenagers. We asked them, okay, in your classrooms, do your teachers post the objectives? Our sophomore in high school said, I think I've seen them in the classroom before, but I don't know. And then our daughter said, yeah, I think one of my teachers has the objective up, and then
They're Spanish.
Nobody
it's
else.
like religious about it, and everybody else is just blowing it off.
Yeah, it's only for administrators. It's so stupid. So what do you have to put up on your board? Do you or do you not? Or you're like, what in the hell are they talking about?
That sounds about right. Well, it's another level of interference from somebody somewhere.
It gives us lots of frustration.
Trying to justify their job. Yes.
I used our objective. I get a 100.
Okay, well, I'm glad that was easy. So the one thing I remember that all my teachers had when I was, especially in elementary school, maybe not elementary so much, but it seemed that way, is every teacher had to have their own paddle. every teacher I went to had their own paddle.
I remember that in kindergarten, and that's it.
No, when I was in first grade, I had Mrs. Anderson, and she had one of those paddleball paddles, with the little ball and the rubber.
So you're saying to get ready for the class. So we're talking about the classroom in this podcast.
She had a stack of those.
You're saying teachers got paddles?
Oh yeah, she had a stack of them, and she would break them on you. And if she ran out, she'd send you down the hall to Mr. Anderson, who had Mr. Hot Pepper. And he'd pull Mr. Hot Pepper out of his drawer. Mr. Hot Pepper was a paddle about that thick with holes drilled in it. And he would pop you a good one.
One of our next episodes will be discipline.
But it seemed like, I know every coach I had, they had their own paddles. All the coaches did it. That was one of the things they had to have in their classrooms. A lot of them, they would hang them up on the wall so you knew it was there.
Yeah.
And
that's part of your bulletin board is the paddle.
Hey, it lets everybody know where they stand.
Oh my gosh.
But
so let's talk about bulletin boards real quick.
Bulletin boards.
He knows what bulletin boards are because he's helped.
I've had that, yes.
So we were pretty fortunate in all my schools. We had pretty big areas to put a bulletin board up, especially outside in the hallway. So you always had to get those prepared. Like you bought the pretty bulletin board paper and the little borders that go around.
Well, yeah, because as a parent, you want to see your kids' artwork or whatever crap they're putting up.
Yeah, if they let parents into schools. But anyways, so yeah, you have all these little cutesy things, and maybe your whiteboard is really big and you can actually put kids' work up on it or something. So what does your school help you with for bulletin boards and artwork and things like that?
As far as like supplies?
Yeah. Like, do they provide you those big rolls of butcher paper? Do they give you any money to help you buy the cool little borders or things to put up in your classroom? Because when I first started, we got like $250 every year, every teacher, to buy supplies for their classroom. Not just bulletin board stuff, but like if you needed books or if you wanted more math manipulatives, whatever you needed. If you wanted games, you got $200 to $250.
I feel like that vanished when we got married.
It vanished almost instantly.
I don't seem to recall that. I do know our Visa paid for a lot of stuff.
One of my schools, they gave you that money as a first year teacher in that school. And then after that, it was like $75, and that only lasted like a year or two. And then they're like, oh, we don't have any money. So we know you buy stuff out of your pocket to make your classroom warm and inviting and sweet.
Well,
maybe
the little grades.
Yeah, maybe not so much high school.
Sophomore English, nobody cares about warm and inviting.
But maybe you buy posters of like Romeo and Juliet, and you have all these cool art posters. And
well, there's some of that. I do remember, the science classes. You always had to have that skeleton hanging in the corner.
Yeah, does the school buy that, or do you have to?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Let us know.
I'm assuming the school buys all the beakers and stuff. That there's no way that
you hope so.
Well, you hope so.
We got very little money for science.
I remember our physics teacher had a big giant slide rule on the wall, which that tells you how long ago that was.
What's that?
Slide rule was a calculator before they had calculators.
Like an abacus?
No. A slide rule could actually multiply and divide and find square roots, and I don't know if it could do derivatives and stuff, but it was a highly complicated and vaguely exact way to do mathematic functions, and it had there's a ruler on top and a ruler on the bottom and a slider thing in the middle and another slider that goes over the top, and there's YouTube videos on it. Okay. We actually had to learn to use it because you got to remember, before 1972 there were no calculators.
I don't remember that.
Well, the very first calculator that was put out like that was in 1972, and it cost $900, which today that same calculator at $900 would have been the equivalent of $7,000 for a calculator that people have on their watches.
So we're kind of going off on a tangent.
Well, yeah, but no, that was one of the things he had in his classroom. He had when he put it up there, so we could know how it was done in the old days. It was kind of cool.
Oh, so you didn't actually use it?
No, but we did use smaller ones. That one was giant. That was like 15 feet long.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was interesting. You know, it makes you appreciate the hell out of the Texas Instruments,
the scientific calculators.
Yeah, no kidding. It was such an improvement over that thing.
Okay.
But biology always had interesting things around.
Yeah.
You know.
So my parents were biology teachers, and I never remember them, setting up their classroom.
You didn't care. Let's be honest. You were young.
But after school, I would go to their school and hang out. And they just had really cool stuff. And animals and all the
but where do you get it? That's the interesting thing.
Don't know.
When you're setting up your classroom, it's like, where do you come up with a formaldehyde-soaked, bullfrog or a sheep's heart or whatever?
Oh, no. I need to ask them. Mom, Dad, where did you get that stuff?
I remember, Mr. Kibbe, when we were doing fetal pigs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you knew it was happening because you came out and there would be a pig head on a pole outside the classroom.
Oh, what? The Lord of the Flies.
It was cool. Mr. Kibbe was cool.
Okay.
He was super cool. And
what was his name?
Mr. Kibbe.
Kibbe? Need to see if we can find his children.
I don't know if he has children. I remember he had a wife. Okay. He talked about her not knowing how to drive. He was very kind of 60s flower power kind of, Mr. California type.
If anybody did that these days, they would be fired on the spot.
I'm sure.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure.
Please don't do that when you're setting up your classroom.
Yeah, but it was, it made that class interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you can do with math class or.
So obviously he didn't have the pig's head up all year.
Oh no. But but you had jars of stuff everywhere, and it was interesting.
It was cool.
You got the butterflies all pinned up on the wall in the big shadow box and stuff like that.
So setting up your classroom doesn't just involve before school starts. It's a year.
It's
year round.
Constant.
You're always changing. You're getting ready for the seasons or the holidays or Parents' Day when they can come in and see everything and open houses. You're constantly putting up and taking down and moving and putting up and removing. And
I do remember that. You set up your classroom in kindergarten with back to school kind of deal, but then when fall came around, everybody changed to the fall stuff and the Thanksgiving stuff, and suddenly there's paper turkeys and crap everywhere. And then, you got to change it to Christmas and then to Easter. And it's like kindergarten never stopped changing, which was, that was about,
hard. It's
about 3 or 4 times a year I had to come in and help with that. It was just frustrating. And then the rest of the time, all that stuff is stored in my house. Or was. We got rid of it. Yeah, we got rid of it. Thank God.
In our cabinets. Hey, we can put stuff on top
of the cabinets. We can put stuff on top of the cabinets here.
Oh, you know what else is funny about cabinets? So, in pretty much all the schools that I've worked at, the last 10 years or so, the fire marshal has been a big deal. The fire marshal's coming. God. You can't cover more than 50% of your wall with paper because it's a fire hazard. So they come in and I guess they measure, I don't know. But if more than 50% of your wall is covered in paper, you have to take it down because it's a fire hazard.
It's kindergarten. Everything's supposed to be covered in paper.
Yeah.
Everything you've got their artwork is always on those drying racks, and then you got to put it up on the wall somewhere. And if they don't let you put it in the hallway, what are you supposed to do with it?
I don't know, because you can't. The fire marshal.
Oh, God.
They'll get you.
Well, do you remember we built that paper tree one time?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. That was one of the first schools I worked
There's
at.
no way in hell they'd let you do that now.
We built this really cool tree out of that really big butcher paper, and it was 3D, and it was this big, giant, twisty trunk, and then we had branches going up to the ceiling.
Yeah, we tied it into the ceiling panels, so it would hold itself up, of course.
Yeah, and then we did big green butcher paper for all the leaves. Oh,
that had to
loved that tree.
That had to be a hardcore fire hazard.
Oh man, I miss that tree. Yeah. Oh no, you couldn't do that these days.
Because the fun has been sucked out of everything, and been replaced with, just endless amounts of oversight. But
so, how many of you on your bulletin boards of classroom work, whether it's out in the hallway or in your classroom, do you have to put up a description or the objective of what that is? So at my current school, you have to put up, if you put something up on a bulletin board, out in the hallway at least, it has to have a piece of paper that states the exact objective. So do you have to do that?
Wait, but the exact objective of what?
So here's an example. So middle school was doing the water flow. What's it called? The circle of life for water. I don't remember. What's it called? Evaporation.
I know exactly. Condensation, precipitation. Yes.
Whatever that's called.
The
water cycle. The water cycle.
Okay, I was going to go with circle of life. I like it. But okay.
So one of the teachers put up. They had made like little pamphlets of the water cycle, and so she has a piece of paper up, and it says, 8.2, which is like literally what the objective is numbered, and 8.2 students will show a representation of the water cycle, whatever. Like, you have to put that up with the kids' work. You can't just put kids' work up in the hallway anymore.
So their drawings of the water cycle is not self-explanatory enough.
No, we want to know exactly which objective it is. Do you have to do that? Have you ever heard of that? Maybe some...
That's stupid.
I'm
sorry.
Like
it just, you're saying... Listen,
I wouldn't put anything up outside. I'd be like, nope.
Everybody put up a drawing of a turkey, and then it's like the objective was to draw a turkey.
Yes, it's science. K.7b. We will name the parts of a turkey, and so you have to put up your turkey with like label, wings, beak, feet.
What would that be?
That's the head.
That's the head, the beak. Okay.
So yeah, if you put up a bulletin board, do you have to put your objective or your learning intention or whatever they call it in your district?
Okay. What is the most useless thing that they make you have in your classroom?
The objectives.
That is the most useless. Okay.
It is.
Well, especially for kindergarten when they can't read. Yes, that's obviously useless. You're teaching them ABCs, yet at the same time they need to know what frustration is, or as you said last time, they don't even know their name.
It just takes time away from the teachers. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to put the objective, even though I put it in my lesson plan and I submitted my lesson plans online, and everybody has my lesson plans because they're due by Saturday at 8 a.m., whatever. You got to do it again. Okay. It's the Department of Redundancy Department. I don't like it. I'm sure
obviously not.
Some people might be like, oh yes, we refer to it every day, and the kids enjoy it, and they look back and they check themselves, and oh, great, good for you. I don't think so.
Okay, so I do have one specific question, and then the bell has kind of rung for us here.
Tardy.
But pencil sharpener, electric on your desk, or manual on the wall? What is your preference?
That's a tough one. Oh man.
See,
for small kids, the electric one.
See, the one on the wall, because you can do different size pencils.
Yeah, but you can do that in an electric one.
However, every time you pull off that thing to empty the shavings, it goes on the carpet. It goes everywhere.
Although some electric ones do that too.
See, that's what I remember. The things I always remember in the classroom.
And then the electric ones always break, and the wall ones don't. So,
yeah. Well, exactly. And this is one of my complaints I have about now versus old. Now, nobody is allowed to have the chkunker, the big blade where you chop stuff off.
It's in the teacher's workroom.
Yeah, but every classroom used to have it.
Yeah.
And they did. We didn't even have that little red safety bar at the time. You put your fingers there, you're gonna lose them. Yeah. It's like, so maybe that's the way society was back then, back before car seats and seat belts everywhere and all that stuff. But at the same time,
scientific calculators.
Well, but at the same time, I think they've taken too much away from teachers, allowing them to individualize their own teaching styles and their own classrooms, and they are forcing everybody into it's like everybody will have an objective board, and everybody will have this, and everybody. It's like, No,
It's
you
just
gotta
time
have
wasted.
some. You gotta have some of your own flair,
Yeah.
like a paper tree going to the
Yes.
ceiling.
Oh my gosh, paper trees. I'm going to make a paper tree for next week's episode. JK.
No, she's not. But speaking of next week's episode, do you want to tell them where we're going?
Yes. So on next week's episode, the wheels on the bus go to the cafeteria.
I'm going to have a lot to say on this one because it's a very, very sore subject for me as far as the problems I've got with school nowadays, and that's a huge one.
Yeah. So if you want to go ahead and comment and help us out with next week's episode and tell us all about your cafeteria at your school, or if you're a cafeteria worker, tell us what it's like back there, because oh my gosh, y'all, cafeteria workers, they don't like get a break from kids for like 5 hours. They are breakfast to lunch. It's nonstop and it's loud, and those kids are messy and crazy. So go thank a cafeteria worker for putting up with that.
Or if you're a disgruntled parent, sick and tired of what they pass off as food nowadays at some of these schools. I digress. We've got a lot to talk about next week.
But comment, like,
Yes,
and subscribe below too, so
Yeah.
that we get more followers.
And send us your stories, send us your complaints, send us your questions. We'll answer whatever you got.
we won't use your school names or
We'll just
administrators.
we'll use first names, or if you don't want to do that, you can just do J period, and we'll just call you J.
Yeah,
But
sounds good.
yeah, so well, it's been a fun ride, and
has.
we'll see you next week.
Getting off the bus. Bye, y'all.
Bye.